Imagine you're lost. No phone signal. No food. Your water bottle is almost empty. Then just when panic starts creeping in, you see it. A tree full of fruit. Some are bright red. Some look like tiny apples. Some look like berries. Some look so normal that your brain instantly says, that must be food. But that one decision, one bite, could be the last mistake you ever make. Because in nature, fruit is not always a gift. Sometimes fruit is a warning. Some tree fruits can stop your heart. Some can destroy your blood sugar. Some can burn your mouth and throat. And some are so toxic that even touching the sap around them can leave you blistered. So today we're counting down 10 deadly tree fruits you should never eat, even if you're starving. And number one is so dangerous that people have been warned not to stand under the tree when it rains. Let's start with one that fools people every year. You're walking through a park in autumn, and you see shiny brown nuts scattered across the ground. They look smooth. They look rich. They look almost exactly like something you might roast over a fire. But these are not edible chestnuts. They are horse chestnuts, also called conkers, and eating them raw can make you seriously sick. The danger is that horse chestnuts look familiar. They look like the kind of wild food a survival guide might tell you to collect. But they contain a toxic compound called esculin, and the seeds, leaves, bark, and flowers are all considered poisonous if eaten. Symptoms can include stomach pain, vomiting, weakness, confusion, and in severe cases, more serious poisoning. That's what makes this fruit so dangerous in a survival situation. When you're hungry, your brain starts looking for patterns. Brown nut equals food. Tree seed equals survival. But nature doesn't care about your pattern recognition. And with horse chestnuts, the shiny shell is basically a trap. So remember this. Not every chestnut-looking nut is a chestnut. Next are China bears, the little yellow beads. The China bear tree produces small round fruits that can turn yellow as they ripen. From a distance, they almost look like tiny golden cherries. To a child, they might look like candy. To a hungry person, they might look like a quick snack. But China bears are poisonous. The fruits contain toxins that can affect the stomach and nervous system. Eating them can cause vomiting, diarrhea, weakness, confusion, breathing problems, seizures, and in serious cases, death. And the terrifying thing is how harmless they look. They don't have spikes. They don't smell poisonous. They don't look like some forbidden jungle fruit. They just hang there in clusters, bright and tempting. This is why berries and small fruits are some of the most dangerous things to guess with in the wild. A fruit does not become safe just because birds eat it. A fruit does not become safe because it is colorful. And a fruit definitely does not become safe because you are desperate. China bears are a perfect example of nature whispering, "Try me," when the answer should be, absolutely not. Now let's talk about you berries, the red fruit with a deadly secret. Yew trees are often found in gardens, old cemeteries, formal landscapes, and parks. They look calm, ancient, almost peaceful, and then they grow these bright red, berry-like fruits. At first glance, they look like something you could pick and eat. But the yew tree is one of the most poisonous trees you may ever walk past. The red fleshy part around the seed is sometimes described as less toxic, but that is exactly why this tree is so dangerous. Because inside that red fruit is a poisonous seed. And the rest of the tree, including the needles and bark, contains toxins, which can affect the heart. Yew poisoning can be extremely serious. Symptoms may include dizziness, stomach upset, breathing problems, heart rhythm issues, collapse, and sudden death. That means this is not a fruit to experiment with, not a fruit to taste test, not a fruit to chew and spit out. Because when a tree's defense system targets the heart, there may not be much time to fix the mistake. The yew fruit looks like a tiny red invitation, but hidden inside is one of the oldest warnings in nature. The prettiest part may not be the safest part. Next is laburnum, the golden chain trap. Laburnum is a beautiful tree. In spring, it hangs with long golden flowers that look like yellow chains. People plant it because it looks magical. But later, the tree produces seed pods, and those pods can look a lot like peas or beans. That is where the danger begins. Laburnum seeds contain a toxic alkaloid called cytosine. Eating them can cause vomiting, drowsiness, convulsions, coma, and in serious cases, death. The scary part is how ordinary the pods look. If you were starving and saw pods hanging from a tree, your brain might say beans, but your brain would be wrong. And this is one of the most important survival lessons in this video. Do not eat unknown seed pods, especially from ornamental trees, because many trees are planted for beauty, not for food. Laburnum is proof that a tree can look like a golden fairy tale and still carry a deadly ending. Now we have castor bean seeds, the ricin fruit. The castor bean plant can grow like a small tree in warm places. It has large dramatic leaves and spiky seed capsules that look almost decorative. Inside those capsules are patterned seeds that some people might think look like beans. But these are not beans. They're castor seeds, and they can contain ricin, one of the most infamous natural toxins in the world. The danger is greatest when the seeds are chewed or crushed, because that can release the toxin. Ingesting castor seeds can cause severe vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration, organ damage, and potentially death. This is one of those plants that should completely erase the idea of just trying a little, because some natural toxins do not give you a gentle warning. They do not start with a bad taste and then give you time to change your mind. They wait until the damage has already begun. And the castor bean plant is especially disturbing because the seeds can look beautiful, almost like jewelry. But in survival, beauty is not a food group. And these seeds are a perfect reminder that some of the deadliest things in nature can fit in the palm of your hand. Next is ackee, safe only when it's truly ready. This one is different because ackee is a real food. In Jamaica, properly prepared ripe ackee is part of the national dish, ackee and saltfish. So why is it on this list? Because unripe ackee can be deadly. Ackee contains a toxin called hypoglycin A, especially when the fruit is unripe. Unripe ackee, along with the rind and seeds of ripe ackee, should never be eaten. The toxin can cause what is sometimes called Jamaican vomiting sickness. It can trigger severe vomiting, weakness, dangerously low blood sugar, seizures, coma, and death. And that creates a terrifying survival problem, because ackee does not become safe just because you found it on a tree. It does not become safe because you cooked it randomly. It does not become safe because you are hungry. Only the correct part of the fruit, at the correct stage of ripeness, prepared properly, is considered edible. That's why ackee is one of the worst fruits to gamble with, because it lives in the dangerous space between food and poison. And unless you know exactly what you are doing, starvation is not the moment to learn. Now we have the sandbox tree fruit, the exploding warning sign. The sandbox tree sounds like something from a nightmare. It has a trunk covered in sharp spikes. It produces toxic sap, and its fruit can literally explode. That's why it is sometimes called the dynamite tree. When the seed capsules ripen, they can burst open with a loud crack, launching seeds away from the tree. Now, imagine seeing that fruit in a survival situation. It might look strange, but strange does not always stop people when they are starving. Someone might think, maybe the seeds are edible. They are not something you want to test. The sandbox tree is a tree that seems to be screaming, "Stay away," in every possible language. Spikes on the trunk, irritating sap, exploding fruit. It is one of nature's least subtle warnings. And yet, that's the point. If a tree has evolved this many ways to protect itself, you should assume the fruit is not there for you. In survival, curiosity can keep you alive. But with the wrong tree fruit, curiosity can also get you killed. Next is pong pong fruit, the suicide tree. The pong pong tree, also known as Cerberodalum, produces a fruit that can look disturbingly ordinary. Green when young, reddish or purplish as it matures, sometimes compared to mango-like or coastal fruits. But inside is a seed containing cerberin, a toxin that can interfere with the heart. This tree has earned the grim nickname, the suicide tree, because of its history in fatal poisonings. The seed can cause dangerous heart rhythm problems, collapse, and death. And one of the most unsettling things about this fruit is that it does not need to look monstrous. It grows in tropical coastal areas. It can appear in places where a hungry person might be searching for something edible. And the fruit itself may not scream danger to someone unfamiliar with it. That is what makes pong pong so frightening. The danger is hidden inside, not on the skin, not in a warning color, not in a smell that says, "Don't eat me," just a seed waiting in the center of a fruit that could fool the desperate. If you remember one rule from this section, make it this: never eat unknown tropical tree fruits just because they resemble something familiar. A fruit that looks almost like food can be more dangerous than one that looks obviously strange. Now we have oleander fruit, the beautiful killer seeds. Oleander is famous for its flowers. Pink, white, red, yellow. It's planted along roads, parks, gardens, hotels, and warm city landscapes. But oleander is extremely poisonous. Every part of the plant is dangerous if eaten, including leaves, stems, flowers, and seed pods. And yes, oleander can produce long, narrow fruit-like pods filled with seeds. The toxins in oleander are cardiac glycosides, which can disrupt the heart. Eating parts of the plant can cause vomiting, dizziness, weakness, irregular heartbeat, and potentially death. The problem is that oleander is common. It may not feel like a rare jungle hazard. It might be growing next to a sidewalk, a parking lot, a picnic area, and that makes it more dangerous because familiar things feel safer than they really are. But oleander is not a plant you should use for anything. Do not eat it. Do not chew the stems. Do not use branches as skewers. Do not burn it for cooking. Do not assume that because it is planted in public, it must be harmless. Oleander is beautiful. Oleander is common. And oleander can kill. And finally, at number 1, we have manchineel fruit, the little apple of death. And number 1 is the fruit with one of the most terrifying nicknames in the plant world, the little apple of death. The manchineel tree grows in parts of the Caribbean, Florida, Central America, and northern South America, often near beaches and coastal areas. Its fruit looks like a small green apple. And that is exactly the problem. If you're lost, hungry, dehydrated, and walking along a coast, this fruit might look like salvation. But eating it can cause severe burning in the mouth and throat, swelling, intense pain, digestive distress, and potentially life-threatening reactions. And the fruit is not the only danger. The tree's sap can cause painful skin blistering. Rainwater dripping from its leaves can carry irritating sap onto your skin. Even smoke from burning the wood can be dangerous. This is why some manchineel trees are marked with warning signs or red paint. Nature could not have designed a more perfect trap for a starving person. A beach, a shady tree, small apple-like fruits. Everything about the scene says, rest here, eat this, you're safe. But the truth is the opposite. The manchineel is not offering food. It is offering a test. And the only way to pass is to walk away. So if you're ever hungry in the wild, remember this. A fruit being natural does not mean it is safe. A fruit being colorful does not mean it is edible. A fruit being eaten by animals does not mean it is safe for humans. And a fruit looking familiar may be the most dangerous trick of all. The trees in this video do not chase you. They do not bite. They do not roar. They simply wait for you to make one wrong assumption. So never eat unknown wild fruit unless you are completely certain what it is, what part is edible, and how it must be prepared. Because in a survival situation, the wrong fruit does not save you from starvation. It just changes the way the story ends.